So as of right now, we have the Chasun event. Chasun event is pretty much similar to the Bastet event. Um, where that? Here it is. If I'm not mistaken, you can get multiple Chasuns, but this one you only get once. So after every bingo, you get like what, another like 6 Chasuns. But if you clear like 20 rows, you will get like the full Chasun once. Afterwards, it's just getting the side things of Chasuns. So that will be a little bit slower than, or actually quite a bit slower than the Bestet event. Yeah, that does mean that you're getting quite a lot less Chasuns than you were getting from, or were getting Bestet. So I don't really expect people to get like a maxed out full 15 Awakening Chasun. I guess you can get 5 copies. It's like 14 days. It is pretty long. But can you get like 5 copies to also fully double mon another unit and then also fully double mon this thing or skill up, whatever you want to call it, and then also full awaken it? Probably not. This will take you quite a bunch longer, but as you can see in here, the rewards from it are actually pretty legit. Like everything in here is pretty usable to a certain extent. So I also think Jasun is not worthy of going like all the way in for like super high upping because I feel like, but that's my personal opinion. I feel like Jasun is not that crazy good of a unit. I think it's best for probably a cleave, but I'm not 100% sure. It's also good for Galaros later, and of course it is good for the water tower. Water tower is pretty good, but if you have like 5 awaken, no skill ups, probably still works for water tower or wind tower, of course. So how do we get these in this case? We actually get more points for daily requests than we did for the previous one. That's actually interesting because, oh no, wait, that's that's daily requests. No, that's about the same. I thought it was repeats for a second. So that's about the same. We do have for repeats. Oh, we actually do get more for repeats completed than that we got for the previous one. You also get participation in the boss. And I think you can actually do this 3 times a day because you can do this on 3 different characters. However, in Europe server, it's kind of hard to get your damage check in to actually do enough damage to count for the world boss, but that's something that you can work on. Arena challenges, that is also added new, so that's also kind of interesting to do. Exploration clears, well, we don't get too many of those because we only have like the 7 weekly things, so that's not as interesting. And as you can see here, Path of Growth only gives 1, whereas Essence Dungeons give 2. So if you want to get extra, it's not just spamming Path of Growth for this one. Actually, Essence Dungeons does give extra. Arena, I think Arena is both the normal Arena and Brawl, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this one is a bit more balanced rather than saying like, okay, just spam like the living shit out of Path of Growth and I'm gonna get a shit ton of these tickets. Not really, it's a little bit less. How many tickets do we need? Oh, we actually need 10 tickets for one like attempt at getting one of those bingo things. So it's going to count quite, or it's going to take quite some time to actually get these Chasuns in, and I totally don't really expect it to be able to get like a shit ton of them, but you're slowly going to get like a few Chasuns in there. And if we check at I keep wanting to say Bastet for some whatever reason. If we check the Chasun, like how far is she worthy to build? Probably mine is just going to be 5 awakened and then no skill ups. I'm actually thinking of just using the shards that I get on her on exchanging them for other pieces, which I'll also show in a second. But yeah, we have like we check the skills. S1 not important. S2 is actually kind of nice because it is both a healer and it's also a what's it called? A attack buffer. So what I'm currently doing a lot is I'm using Bastet to walk around in like open world, like auto farming and that kind of stuff. Chasun is technically better at that because Chasun both heals and attacks. So I don't, or attack buffs. So I don't need a second healer in there. So I don't need like I was using Shushu or Economia or whatever for the healing. So you don't really need that. So that is pretty useful. I got a question, why not 9 Awakening? Because a 9 Awakening costs a lot of essences. And the thing is, the difference between you get like some extra effects and cooldown reduction if you just awaken it. So you don't even have to skill it up. If you just awaken it, you already get some extra effects. And the cost goes down and that kind of stuff. So you do want to awaken it, and that's at 5. For the first copy, you need, of course, like you need that at 10. But if you just keep it at 5, you have like the awakening stuff, and that's kind of what you're aiming for. Third skill is not as interesting for the stuff I want to use it for. It's just there. I think it's pretty decent for a cleave in PvP, because cleaves in general have more HP, so therefore balancing out HP is more interesting. But in general, I probably won't be making this unit. I don't have Huahi or Miang. I'm not sure how good they actually are. I think Huahi is pretty decent because it's a good damage dealer with an attack buff. So you could focus on that if you have it. If you have a Yeon Hong, which is very unlikely, Yeon Hong is insanely OP, so that's definitely one that I would draw the Devilmons out, throw these pieces in, and that kind of stuff. But what I was talking about, where I'm most likely going to use those pieces for, is this exchange shop. And as you can see here, I can, for example, buy 3 pieces of a vampire. It's going to cost me some pieces of other things. I don't have that many pieces at the moment, but that's where I've been using like my leftover Bastet pieces. I've been using my Sion pieces I buy from the guild or from the arena shop, and I just use like all kinds of random pieces that I get from stuff that I'm like, probably not going to use this. In this case, I'm going to throw in this one, and the monkey pieces I actually do want to use. These I use. Panda pieces. Kind of want to get you as a piece as well. I think I'll just, for the sake of it right now, I'll just throw in one of these. I kind of want to use Feng Yang at some point, but I think it's also kind of far away. And in this kind of way, you actually get quite a lot of those pieces. And at some point, if you get enough pieces, you can actually use a restore stone to pull out Devilmons, throw these pieces in. So that's why I'm getting, like, for example, vampire pieces. And I think I will use Chasun mainly for this. I'm not going to skill up Chasun anything. You could say, like, okay, that's a stupid idea because you're trading in 3-1, which is pretty much a bad trade. Like, if you do that with your marbles, your mom has to go to school to ask back the marbles and shit. But I think it's worthy for me in here. And yeah, actually, like, it's even possible, like, for Wusa, I never pulled Wusa. And the moment I get one more Wusa piece, I will get a free Wusa pull, and therefore I can put that Wusa in the blessing as well. So for that reason, just to unlock your unit the first time, you can also use this, which is pretty effective. So, yep, we get those in there. And you can also do that with your 4-stars. So if you have a bunch of 4-stars that you're like, probably not really going to use it, I could go for this Tiana, but I would need a full Tiana, which is 21 pieces, which is quite a lot. And as you can see right here, if you want to do this, you're going to need a lot of them, and really a lot of those pieces to actually get anywhere. So in this case, I'm just saving those 4-stars. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do with the Chasun event. Do we have anything else going on as events coming with that? Oh, we also have the Little Ducky event. Let's just do a bunch of stuff, and you probably get, like, well, you get this thing in the end, which is not that interesting. We already have a mount, but you can sit on a little duck boat. A bunch of other free rewards. That's about it. But I feel like the other rewards that you get from here is like 200k gold, bunch of essences, bunch of Breath of Lives, 5-star Rainbow Mon. Like, there's some good stuff in this around there. So I think it's pretty good. And yeah, keep in mind, you're only going to get this reward once of getting a full Chasun, and afterwards you just get the extra pieces just from the ones that are here on the side of the board. So that will take you a while to actually get anywhere, because you need to hand in 10 of those to actually get them. And as you can see, you're not going to get them as fast as with the Bestat event. It's actually a lot slower. So yeah, that's pretty much about that. We also probably have some new packs, because they always like to introduce new packs if they light and dark summon. I think that one was already in there. We had a few new things. Oh, we had this thing in there. Really worth it in my opinion. Bunch of full moon scrolls, packs, whatever. Not really worth it in my opinion. They throw a lot of packs at your face at this one. Literally a lot. Maybe a little bit of way too many. Oh yeah, they also have, like, always these packs to get more of those rice cakes or whatever things that you have. So, yep, you have a whole bunch of things in there. Things you do want to buy, this one, of course. Thing you might want to buy is Path of Growth, and or the Growth/Evolution, and then these two. Because you can actually buy them with normal crystals. They're like 500 crystals each. And these are pretty decent, I would say. They're cheaper than like normal refresh. So you get, especially for Essence tickets, I think Essence tickets are very worth it to buy from these. So keep in mind to buy those.